Hello, my name is Zachary Moritz. And now I choose to invest some time into doing a speaking exercise on camera. I should have taken my mouth candy out. I have a hard candy called some cream savers, a strawberry cream saver. And it is very tasty. I might just take it out though while I'm recording this video so I can speak better, because that is the goal of this exercise anyway. And I am deciding to do this now, and it should increase my communication ability. I went to the DMV earlier and changed my address on my driver's license. That is going to come in the mail. I don't know how long it'll be until I get that driver's license in the mail, but it will have my new address on it. I also did a 2.6 mile run with a 12-pound weight on my shoulders earlier this morning. While I was doing that, I was washing my clothes at the dry cleaners. So I was getting two things done at the same time, which I heard is the definition of ascending to the fifth dimension, because or the fourth dimension, because in 3D we have just this physical reality. The dimensions of X, Y, and Z are length, width, and height, and then those are the three dimensions. And some of us just think that 3D is the only existence for us. And it is the only existence for us if our consciousness is at that point of just being, of only being in these three dimensions. If you add the dimension of time, or don't even call it a dimension, add the concept of time to the situation, like length, width, and height can be described in terms of space. And I'm just realizing this now, that our three dimensions are describing space. And if you've ever heard of the phrase space-time continuum, then you could say, okay, our three dimensions are referring to space, and I've heard of the phrase space-time continuum, which is implying that space isn't alone, it's coexisting with time. Then why don't I think about time when I am solely existing in three dimensions? That's where a lot of people start questioning, like I would start questioning and thinking about time and thinking, like worrying maybe. I have that experience myself, where if I'm existing with just the three dimensions itself, I start worrying, because I know that time is a measurement that we use. I think about our clocks and our timepieces, and I think about appointments and things that are scheduled, and responsibilities I must uphold, and it starts racing in my mind, and worrying and making sure I get all those things done. An appointment might be doing laundry. There's a time to do it in the week, and then there's an amount of time that it takes to do it. These are measurements of time. They're concepts and ideas that have to do with time. And I've also heard the phrase that time is an illusion or time is not real, which is really a hard thing to hear from me. I don't know about other people's opinions, but when I heard the phrase time is an illusion told to me, I was like, yeah, that's okay. That's okay if you think that, but it's definitely not an illusion for me. Like I worry about things a lot, and I have like responsibilities I have to take care of and things. If it's at a certain specific time of the day, then I have to be doing that. And I can't just say time's an illusion, like, and forget about things that are existing in that certain space-time reality and think about something else. My point is, the fourth dimension is time. Maybe what those people mean about time being an illusion is when you go beyond the fourth dimension being time to the fifth dimension. The way that it was described to me is that you're now at a vantage point greater than fourth dimension, and you're looking down upon time. So, like, existing in the fourth dimension is like worrying about time always, like it controlling you and you doing what it says, you going to those appointments and showing up and following orders. It controls you. You meet those deadlines. And in the fifth dimension, not to be so hypey about it, but it seems like if I'm not just doing one thing at a specific amount of time, I put my laundry in and it's going for 30 minutes, we'll say. Washes for 20 minutes, dries for 30 minutes. That's about how it goes for me. And at the same time, I get my running route started and I start to run. It takes me 35 minutes to run. So for 25 of the 35 minutes that I'm running, so there's 10 minutes that I'm running and I'm not washing the clothes anymore. But two productive things are happening at the same time. And then I get back to the washer and I take them out and then I put them in the dryer for 30 minutes. And while they were drying, I went to the store, Schnucks, and I bought groceries. And maybe I didn't need the food, maybe it wasn't as productive as going for a run. Excuse me. But it was not unproductive. It wasn't just me sitting there doing nothing. And so that's what I think defines being in the fifth dimension is washing your clothes and doing exercise, doing jogging as an exercise at the same time. And in the fifth dimension, you could probably even add other things to your life at the same time as those other things are going on. As my clothes are washing, as I'm going for a jog, I am listening to a productive podcast to listen to. You know, that's about where my imagination for possibility stops. Like I can't be like I can't I can't explain what I was just thinking about, like lifting weights while I'm running. I can't be writing a paper while I'm running. There's a certain amount of there's a certain extent to my energy. There's a certain amount of energy that I can't continue doing things. And so, I have to make sure that all my time isn't wasted, and I'm managing my time effectively, and I'm making sure I do all the things that I can do with the time that I have. Oops, I dropped my mic. And I went to Aldi on the way back from the DMV, and I wanted just a snack. And the snack that I got was the mochi ice cream. And it's good to eat mochi ice cream because it has fat, and fat will support your body in terms of glucose for the longest amount of time in comparison to carbohydrates and, well, protein, carbohydrates, and sugar, which will also do it, but in a shorter amount of time. And I suppose if I shall run into a point in my life where there's things that are escaping my attention with which I can communicate with, then I will decide to brainstorm on things to discuss, to bring to emotions with thought, bring to light, to be thought upon, to be talked about. I was just reading our family history book for the Regan family, and it looks like there was a couple of things that went on in Ohio, Illinois, and I looked up where that is. It looks like it's southwest, about an hour away. And I considered that I might want to go down to Ohio, Illinois to see what it looks like, what the city looks like there, what the people behave like, what they feel like down there. Because I noticed that in different cities, people have different feelings about them. There's different cultures in different cities. Not to mention that I traveled to different cities on plane. I traveled to different states, is what I mean. And I didn't notice that much of the different cultures in different states as I noticed different cultures in different cities that I go to. It's almost like I project some sort of bias upon, a judgment upon how people should act in different cities because I've existed in this state for so many years, and I have expectations. I have a people for respects for different institutions that might be present in that city, different families that might live there. And I don't want people to define my expectations for them, which makes me sad and mad and whatever. And if you're going to somewhere that you have roots, which is the case if I go to, what is it? It's not Park. It's Des Plaines. If I go to Des Plaines and then I have